Our next topic is certainly about the shoe company, apparel company, Nike. And one of the things that came out this week was that the vice president of Nike, her name's Ann Hebert, resigned. And folks were like, well, why is this going on? And then we actually found out, as they say, the article that came out this week, Bloomberg had the big article about Nike and the fact that Ann Hebert resigned. And then we found out through the article that her son, Joe, who I believe is 17 years old, was not reselling Nikes, but kind of got in on some insider information on sneakers and started reselling sneakers at the secondary market using, basically insider trading. And, he was in this article with Bloomberg and was talking about how if you know the right people here in Oregon, you can really sell shoes here. And he was clearly talking about his mom. So, Brandon, what do you think of this? What do you think that, this kid Joe situation is? And do you believe that Ann Hebert did the right thing by resigning?
Bloomberg Business was the one that released this in a story, and this is a groundbreaking story. So cheers to Bloomberg Business for releasing that, because this is information that I think a lot of people wanted to know about. And you're wondering why you go on Sneakers app and you put in a bid for one of these sneakers and, oh, sorry, your bid didn't win. But this guy has won over 100 pairs, obviously because his mother was running the Sneakers app. And on top of that, had all this inside information, and he was using bots. He was using computer bots to basically put in millions of entries. And so he can get 100 pairs of shoes when we put in one entry and we get denied. So I think this is, like you said, clearly insider trading. I'd like to see somebody get arrested for this, honestly. Arrest this little punk. Send him to juvenile for a while. And honestly, and if you don't think it's a crime, teach the kid a lesson that he needs to keep his mouth shut next time, because it was all his post, like we're seeing here, that brought the attention to being like, how is this kid getting all these unique, high exclusive pairs of shoes when people can barely get one? And he's sitting on stacks of them and making thousands of, if not millions of dollars at the age of 17 off of reselling these shoes. A lot of them which are exclusive Jordans and exclusive Nikes. All right. And obviously his mother being a vice president of Nike, and like I said, was specifically in charge of the Sneakers app where you try to get these exclusive shoes. So it's ridiculous. And honestly, I think she did the right thing with stepping down. I think obviously Nike forced her to step down, and Nike, you need to do more at this point to basically bring back the faith in your company and especially in the Sneakers app, because people are just like, what the heck? I've been getting robbed for years from this little punk while he just sits in Oregon with his mommy and using all these bots to get all these exclusive shoes. So, Nike's got a lot more rebuilding to do to fix this story. Obviously, this just broke over the last few days, and I think people are mad, and I'm actually one of them. I'm one of them. So this is crazy. Honestly, I would love to see her get arrested. I would love to see her get arrested and serve some time, because this was all money driven. This was all money driven, and she's setting her son up with all this big money. I don't know. I'm disgusted, Pat. You can go on. I'm disgusted.
Yeah, you could look at this and say, did Ann know that this was going on? And, from 5,000 feet, there's a chance she wasn't, except for the fact that he was using her credit card. He was using her American Express credit card that was under her name. So she obviously sees the statements. She didn't ask, oh, what's this $200,000 you're spending on 2,000 pairs of shoes? And you're right, he used bots. And he used to get into, I think it was Yeezy Supply that he was trying to use. He was using to get these sneakers. And, normally, like you mentioned, you go to the site and it's like one pair per customer, because a lot of these sneakers are vintage and they're hard to come by. So some of these websites are trying to do the right thing by giving them out, distributing them to letting different people buy different shoes and not, allowing this to happen on the secondary market. And then you see this kid doing that very thing. So he's cheating out this website that's trying to combat against what he's doing. And then even if, like I said, even if Ann Hebert wasn't aware that it was going on, you have to resign from Nike, because this is a terrible look for you. Your son under your nose is doing this. You didn't see all those shoes on the back porch that we saw the pictures of before? I mean, like, what the? How did you not know this was going on? She obviously knew this was going on, or at least had a whiff of it, and just didn't say anything. She did the right thing by resigning. Like you mentioned, I think Nike probably said, "You got to go." Maybe gave her a golden parachute too. But this is crazy. This kid deserves something. Whether it's you can't use any of these sites for shoes or whatever, gets his Twitter handle suspended or whatever accounts he's using. That should all be suspended. I mean, that's how you punish kids now, is your Twitter and Instagram accounts get suspended or even shut down. Exactly. So that's what I want to see for this guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, something's got to be done. And I love Nike. Honestly, I buy a lot of their products. So I'm hoping that they make this situation right. And if you need some advice in making it right, Nike, first off is making sure that nobody, and I mean nobody, can do this ever again, but also that nobody can use bots on these sites. I mean, come on now. I mean, with the cybersecurity and all the money that Nike has, they should be able to have cybersecurity on this app to make sure that nobody's using bots to be able to put in millions of entries when we're only getting to put in one. So Nike, you got some fixing to do on this story, and I'm sure there's more to this story coming out over the next couple of weeks, and we'll be looking to cover it as well. But cheers to Bloomberg Business for releasing this key information in this huge story.